Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. I got a great show for you here today between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Friday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, one of the best players in the game, Junior Caminero. And on the right, one of the top center fielders, not only in the American League, but overall, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Tampa Bay Rays. Leading it off for the Tampa Bay Rays at DH, Yandy Diaz. Batting second, playing first base, Jonathan Aranda. Batting third, playing third base, superstar stud Junior Caminero. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, catching today for the Rays, Liam Hicks. Batting fifth, playing left field, Chandler Simpson. Batting sixth, playing center field, Johnny DeLuca. Batting seventh, playing right field, Victor Mesa Jr. Batting eighth, playing second base, Richie Palacios. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, Taylor Walls. And on the mound with a 10-5 record, ERA of 2.91, it is Drew Rasmussen. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading it off for the Mariners, the former Oriole right fielder, Taylor Ward. Batting second, playing second base, Cole Clutch Young. Batting third, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, DHing for Seattle, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Batting fifth, playing center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting sixth, playing first base, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting seventh, playing third base, Brendan Donovan. Batting eighth, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, it's the phenom rookie, Colt Emerson. And on the mound for the Mariners, our number one, our ace, 8-6 record, ERA of 3.46. It is Logan Gilbert. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Exclusive game here on Apple TV. If you are looking for where the game is being broadcast, shout out to our female audience, our new subs, our regulars, our mods, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. We are global. 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. He's retiring after this season, so we want to make sure we dedicate every stream this season to the one and the only Rick Riz. We love you. Tridents up, let's go M's. And we obviously know that this schedule is incredibly brutal. If you're actually looking at, every single series that we're going to have to match up with our opponents, the Rays and then the Yankees. And, you got the Astros sprinkled in there with the Phillies and the Brewers and the Cubs. I don't think I've seen a more difficult schedule for the Mariners in a long, long time. And if somehow we can survive and stay afloat in August. It gets quite a bit easier in September, but real question will be, can we stay afloat, until September? That has yet to be determined. Jerry in the building, what's good? Fourth in the building, what's good? Jonah in the building, Hawks in the building, Blue Jay in the building, what's good? The only thing that I got a gripe with the batting lineup, why is Taylor Ward leading off? If you want Taylor Ward to play, that's fine. But again, I could think of about, 6 or 7 different guys besides Naylor and Cal that shouldn't be leading off. I mean, you could have Cole Young lead off. You could have Randy lead off. You could have Colt Emerson lead off. You could have Julio lead off. Not really sure the strategy with Taylor Ward leading off, but again, we'll see kind of how it all plays out. Now, he has gotten hits in back-to-back games, so I'll give him that, but I don't really think Taylor Ward is necessarily a lead-off hitter per se, but, again, maybe, he'll do better than we expect, but we will find out momentarily. And really, the question is not only going to be on Logan Gilbert, but the bat's got to come alive. We got embarrassed yesterday, and again, it doesn't get any easier. 3 games at home, versus the Tampa Bay Rays, the #1 team in the American League. Then we go on the road to play the Yankees. And again, you got teams like the Astros and the Phillies and the Brewers and the Cubs this month. It's one of the hardest schedules I've ever seen for the Mariners, considering where we're at and where those teams are at. But hopefully we can find a way. And this is a global broadcast on Apple TV. And if you don't have it, no worries. I'll call the game here. First pitch to Yandy Diaz. Big swing and a miss right down the middle, 0-1 count. And again, this lineup is incredible. The first 4 batters are all roughly batting over 300 or just under 300. There's a reason why this team is as dominant as they've been. #1 in the American League by a landslide. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss again. Yandy Diaz, big whiffs early on, and that is not often that you see Yandy not being able to connect. But again, this is our #1 pitcher in Logan Gilbert. Back-to-back 4-seam fastballs, 97 and 98, right down the middle. 0-2 pitch from Gilbert. Hard hit ball into deep right field. Oh my, what a catch. Taylor Ward. I'll take that. And again, we're going to need the defense from Ward in right. But not only that, Luke Raley's out for the year. So there's only a few other options in right field. Hey, Lazaro Montes in AAA is killing it. I wouldn't mind if Lazaro gets a chance to get called up and Michael Arroyo, especially if they're waiting, for Cade and Ryan Sloan at the right time. But we could definitely use another bat that has some power and some, pretty good defense and a strong arm. Lazaro is a beast in AAA. And again, nice catch there by Taylor Ward. 1 up and 1 down. Next up is Jonathan Aranda. First pitch is low and at the knees. 1-0 count. And again, this lineup is incredible. Diaz leading off. Aranda obviously batting second. And then on deck is Junior Caminero. And again, incredible, top 3. And you could argue that might be the top 3 in baseball in not only the American League, but in the National League. You could argue, based on their consistency, all season long, not only against American League teams, but against National League teams as well. One pitch here from Gilbert to Aranda. Hard hit ball towards third base and out of play. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. Top of the first inning, 0-0 Rays and Mariners. Still got a little bit of a heat wave in Oregon and Washington with all the wildfires coming out from Spokane and other areas affecting Oregon and Washington. We're in the 90s still, but hopefully everyone is being safe and obviously staying hydrated as well. 1-2 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Aranda. Callie in the building representing Hawaii. I see you. 2-2 pitch. Inside, just missing the line. Slider, 87 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. We're rocking the City Connects tonight. And obviously, if it wasn't so hot, I'd be rocking the City Connect, obviously, today. But I don't want to be sweating my ass off throughout the whole broadcast. Obviously, if it starts to cool down, things could change. But, I want to be definitely comfortable in this matchup. Rocking the All-Star cutoff tee from a couple years ago in Seattle when we hosted. 3-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Aranda. I like that. Good start. 2 up and 2 down. And again, not only do we need Logan Gilbert to have a fantastic game to have any shot today or in any of these games against the Rays, but the bats need to come alive. Obviously had a very weak lineup yesterday, with no Naylor, no Brendan Donovan, no Cal Raleigh. They're all back in the lineup today. So again, I do expect, hopefully big things. Magic number will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits, but realistically, it might end up being somewhere in the 0 to 4 run range and hopefully closer to 3 to 4 rather than 0 or 1. First pitch is low and at the knees to Junior Caminero, a superstar third baseman for the Rays. 1-0 count. 89-mile-an-hour slider there by Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. 1-0 pitch popped up and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there by Logan. And again, Logan looking like he's hitting his spots. It's crazy that Bryce Miller at one point was our number 1. Emerson Hancock is our, number 2 in the past. And now they've kind of slid down in the pecking order since Castillo's now on the White Sox. 1-1 pitch, wild pitch that goes past Cal Raleigh back to the T-Mobile bricks. But right now, Logan Gilbert is our 1. George Kirby is our 2. I think Wu is our 3, even though he's got, woes on the road. And then you got Hancock at 4, and Miller has kind of gone down to 5 at this point, and hopefully he'll get back to where he was, but definitely has been on a little bit of a slide within the last month and a half. 2-1 pitch, big swing and a miss with that slider, 89 miles an hour, right down the middle. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Gilbert to Caminero. Sean in the building, what's good? Shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train, and 5 to 15 subs. Good start here for Logan Gilbert. Let's see if we can get Caminero out. 2-2 pitch to Caminero. Low and into the dirt. Good save there by Cal, hitting the chest protector. Not getting too far away from him, sliding a little bit towards first base. Slider 88 miles an hour. And again, we're going to need double plays. We can't be hitting into 4 or 5 of them like yesterday, against the Detroit Tigers. That was embarrassing. And again, we need to be able to hopefully strike first and strike fast. 3-2 pitch. Low and away, just missing the corner. Cal is challenging. And let's see if we just get a piece. And let's see if this is a good challenge by Cal or not. It's either going to be a walk or strike 3, end of inning. Let's see if we just get the corner. Come on, ABS. And we just miss it. I mean, we're talking about 0.1 inches away is the shortest distance you can have, and that's going to turn into a walk. That's unfortunate. But Logan is pitching well here early on, much better than Wu on the road, as well as Miller as of late. Kirby's been pretty good. Gilbert's been pretty good. And again, we're going to need Gilbert and Wu to get the job done, obviously, in the next few days. All right, next up here in the 4-hole is Liam Hicks. First pitch by Hicks popped up and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour there by Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. 0-1 count. 8-6 record, ERA at 3.46, which is number 1 on the team, record-wise. And, almost everyone on the team in the starting 5 is similar in the ERA. Some guys a little bit slightly higher than the others, but very similar. And Hicks pops up. Randy Arosarena is there in left, and that is out number 3. Doggo Dad Dono, and I appreciate you for all your support. And that is $20 holla on the dono train from one of our best supporters and fans on the channel. Again, 3 dogs and a cat. That's a lot of responsibility. For every day that we're alive, that's a week for a dog. And he's got 3 of them and a cat. I salute you. Thank you so much for your support for my dreams and goals. Not only for myself and Paisley, but obviously here on the channel. And again, we're at 2080 to go. Appreciate you very, very much. More than you can know. Now let's go to the bottom of the first inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. 83 subs away from 24,600. And let's see where we're at on the likes. We should be a little over a quarter of the way. You would assume, maybe not halfway just yet, but we got 124 in the room, and hopefully we're somewhere in that 20 to 40 range. And where are we at? We're at 32, so I was right on the money. So we're at 32, 68 more likes to get to 100. Leading off for the Mariners, the former Angel and Oriole right fielder Taylor Ward. I'm a little confused why he's leading off. I would rather have Cole Young, Randy, Julio. I think I would have even Brandon Donovan. So I think I would have at least 3 or 4 guys that I would rather have than Ward leading off. Hell, I think I would probably even rather have Dom lead off, even though he's not really a leadoff hitter. But obviously with Naylor and Cal, and right now with Colt Emerson not really being as consistent, even though Colt could be a guy that could fill in as a leadoff hitter maybe one day in the future, But again, I'm a little confused with Ward leading off. But again, he hasn't had hits in back-to-back games. We'll see if he can do it for the 3rd game in a row. Batting second in the 2-hole, one of the best second basemen already in the league, Cole Clutch Young. I love you. And batting third, left fielder, our best consistent hitter from the beginning of the year till now, Randy Arozarena. And on the mound for the Rays, one of the best in the league, 10-5 record, ERA of 2.91, Drew Rasmussen. Global broadcast here on Apple TV. First pitch in there for a strike to Taylor Ward, 0-1 count. Four-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour there by Drew Rasmussen. Trident's up, let's go M's. Big swing and a miss. Sinker, 94 miles an hour, right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes from Rasmussen to Taylor Ward. And hopefully, I don't know what Dan is thinking. He's not very good with lineups, And again, I think there's a lot of others that would be better, as Ward pops up into right. And that is 1 away. Now, I could see him starting with Framber Valdez because maybe we were going to get in a fight and whatnot. But, since that day has passed, it doesn't really make any sense for Ward to lead off. He's not the greatest hitter. So why would you have a guy that can't really hit, even though he's got hits in back-to-back games, as your leadoff hitter? Make it make sense, Dan Wilson. But again, not the brightest light bulb of the bunch. And you already had Cole Young leading off for a while, and I think that's a better choice. But we'll see what happens as the game progresses. First pitch, high and inside, 1-0 count. And having a good leadoff hitter is very instrumental of your success. And we would know we had Ichiro Suzuki. On deck is Randy Arozarena. Definitely getting that batting average up for Cole, which I like to see. And hopefully before the season is over, we can get him closer to 270, 280, 290, 300 range. And that's really the only thing that cost him from being a reserve in the All-Star game this year is the batting average was around 250, 260. Need to get it up to 270 to 300, and then he'll be able to get in. And if you get it closer to 280 to 300, you're probably going to be starting the All-Star game at second base for many years to come. 2 balls and 1 strike from Rasmussen to Cole Clutch Young. Let's go, Cole. Popped up. And out of play, 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour from Drew Rasmussen to Cole Clutch Young. First round pick, 21st overall in 2022. The best offense and defensive player on the team besides Julio Rodriguez. And I do believe Colt Emerson will join that group next year. Obviously, the defense he's already got, but the offense is still a work in progress. 360 spin. Yes! Look at that. And Cole Clutch Young running hard and getting the job done. And that's what it's about. You never know, with, second baseman and shortstops, if they're going to field it cleanly. And if you got to go into a 360, sometimes that throw is going to be slightly off. It was a great attempt. And again, Young avoiding the swipe and getting on safe. I love it. Cole Clutch Young with a single. Great job. Next up, in the 3-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And then on deck, DHing the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. First pitch is low and away. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, low and away from Rasmussen to Randy Arozarena, 1-0 count. And I know we got blasted yesterday in an embarrassing way, but I like our chances against some of these teams. I know it's going to be tough. Rays, here at home, number 1 team in the American League, then playing the number 2 team, the Yankees on the road, and then you got teams like the Astros and the Phillies and the Brewers and the Cubs. I mean, it's a nightmare schedule. Now, if this was our team from last year, we don't care. We're balling, but this year is a different story. So it's going to take everything that we got and some and a little bit of luck to be able to stay afloat in August. 1-1 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. Bottom of the first inning, 0-0, Rays and Mariners. Runner goes, Young. Oh, and they say he's out. He went with a feet-first slide, and Palacios with the tag. And we'll see if we get a replay here with a challenge or not. Cole's walking off like he got thrown out, so let's look again. I assume he's out. Oh, yeah, he did get him. Great glove placement there by Palacios, kind of blocking the shoe before he even gets into the bag, and that is 100% out. Great defensive play there by the Rays, but are we surprised? Not really. I wish Cole was safe there, but just a hell of a throw there by Tampa Bay. 3 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. 3-1 pitch, takes that strike looking. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Arozarena. 3-2 pitch and a line drive and caught. Wow. And again, this Tampa Bay Ray team has got it all. Starting pitching, bullpen, defense that's elite. And on top of that, they got some amazing hitters. And a line drive snagged. Randy flying out and lining out to first. And that is the end of the first inning. Velasco in the building. Let him know. Try dance up. Let's go M. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Takes 1 second just to hit that like button, and the faster that we can get to 100, that'll get more metrics and analytics risen to the point where we can get more recommendations from YouTube for people that are looking for the Rays, the Mariners, or just an MLB stream. And remember, it's not just people in the United States that are looking, or Canada. It's Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. So again, we are global. So any type of little support, even if you feel like not chatting, hitting that like button can go a long way. Let's go to the top of the second inning here on a global broadcast on Apple TV. 0-0 Rays and Mariners. Next up in the 5-hole, left fielder Chandler Simpson. Batting second in the 6-hole, center fielder Johnny DeLuca. Cool photo. Nice action shot. And batting third in the 7-hole, right fielder Victor Mesa Jr. Tridents up. Let's go M's. We're 83 subs away from 24,600. Less than 500 away from 25,000, which is exciting. Let's see where we're at on the likes. We should be approaching the halfway point. We should be over 50 by now. And we got 150 in the room, so we usually should be in that 50 to 60 range at this point. And we're at 57. There we go. 43 to go. Shout out to our female audience, our new subs, our regulars, our mods, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. I appreciate you very, very much. Logan Gilbert on the mound, 8-6 record ERA of 3.46. And again, I'm happy that we're starting off with our number 1 pitcher against the Rays. And then we got our number 2 tomorrow, I believe, with George Kirby. So we're going to have a shot to win some games. Now, when we go to the Yankees on the road, could be challenging, at that point with some of the lower tier guys pitching in that series, even though we don't really have low tier guys compared to other teams, but obviously we know who's been pitching well lately and who's been struggling. First pitch fouled off, high and inside with a 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, popped up. It's in shallow left. Randy is there. And that is 1 up and 1 down. Nice defense there by Randy. Next up in the 6-hole, center fielder Johnny DeLuca. On deck is Victor Mesa Jr. First pitch is low and away with a four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. We're at 20 on the Dono train, 80 to go. Global broadcast here on Apple TV. And I know some people don't like certain broadcasts, but Apple TV to me is awesome. They got 4K cameras. They're one of the only broadcasts that use 4K cameras, and I like the presentation. Sometimes the announcers could be better. Back to the wall and gone. And Johnny DeLuca with a solo dinger off Logan Gilbert. Hopefully that's the only home run that he gives up. But again, it's much better than a YouTube-specific broadcast that we've seen some in the past. Some obviously have been a little questionable with cameras and, who's calling the game and whatnot. But again, I can call the game no matter what broadcast is being shown. And Johnny DeLuca, and again, this isn't necessarily a team that's so home run dependent like the Mariners, but DeLuca, he can do it all. He can play a little bit of defense, and every once in a blue moon, he'll hurt you, with a big home run. And if you lay it right down the middle, it doesn't matter who you're throwing to. Sometimes they're going to rough you up. And DeLuca with a solo dinger. Next up is Victor Mesa Jr. But as long as Logan settles down, and gives up hopefully 2 runs or less, 3 at the max, I still think we're going to have a very good chance to compete here tonight. 1-0 pitch, fouled off. And out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Mesa Jr. Rebecca in the building. What's good? Jack in the building. What's good? I mean, we got some people from South Korea that watch. But obviously, there's internet restrictions in the north, as we know, as that gets popped up. And Julio is there. And that is 2 away. Next up in the 8-hole, second baseman Richie Palacios. On deck is Taylor Walls. We're still fine. We're playing against the number 1 team in the American League and one of the best teams in baseball. You can't expect, even our number 1 pitcher, to shut them out, based on how we've been playing lately. So, we just got to hope that we can, get a few home runs, a few ribbies. And, if our pitching is going to give up a home run here or there, as long as it's solo dingers rather than 2-run jacks, 3-run bombs and grand salamis, we'll be fine. It's just that the offense has got to do their part, and hopefully the bullpen, will stay away from Edward Bizardo. 0-1 pitch, low and away, sweeper, 83 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Palacios. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, and out of play there in left field, slider, 88 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs, top of the second inning, 1-0 Tampa. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Popped up and out of play. One ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. 1-0 Tampa. Got him. All right, that's out number 3. And again, you want to be as clean as possible. But, I mean, let's be honest and real with ourselves. We haven't played very good ball this season. We got the number 1 team in the Tampa Bay Rays. Then we go on the road and we play, teams like the Yankees. And you have the Astros on deck this month on top of the Phillies and the Cubs and the Brewers. It's going to be a nightmare. It gets easier in September. But the thing is how many games are we going to be down by the time we get to September? We're going to have to, play up to the competition, and we're going to need a lot of luck, if we're really being honest. We just got to find a way to stay afloat. Let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up in the 4-hole, DHing the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Batting second In the 5-hole center fielder, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez, and we could definitely use a few dingers here today. And batting third in the 6-hole, welcome back to the lineup, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. All right, Mariner Moose, you know what to do. We're at 20 on the Dono train because of Sean, our MVP so far, 80 to go. 83 subs to go to 24,600, less than 500 to go to 25,000, 6.2 million views and counting. Next goal will be 7 million views on the channel. And let's see where we're at on the likes. We should be getting closer to that 70 number with 152 in the room. And we're at 60 right now, 40 more to go. Right hands up. Let's go, M's. And again, we're going to need all the help that we can get. But again, you know, nice to be able to have a few of those pieces that were out of the lineup yesterday back in, as they show a old school clip of Felix, August 15th, 2012, the perfect game. And again, you know, we've been very blessed to have some of the best players, you know, to come through, you know, in Seattle, either their whole career or for parts of their career. And really the guy that held it down in that non-playoff era, Felix Hernandez. I mean, a true one of one. You know, too bad he's not, you know, on this particular team, you know, with the pitching that we have, but he definitely held it down back then. First pitch is a big swing and a miss there for Dom, right down the middle. Four-seam fastball, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Changeup, 89 miles an hour. Missing by Rasmussen to Dominic Canzone. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the second, 1-0 Tampa. 1-1 pitch popped up and out of play. Sinker, 96 miles an hour there by Drew Rasmussen to Dominic Canzone. Let him know, Velasco. You know, and again, if we're going to play, you know, kind of suspect and bad, you know, and other teams are going to play bad as well, you know, we'll be fine. You know, like I said, if the Rangers and Astros struggle when we struggle, you know, everyone's going to be kind of near each other. So it's not going to be as bad. The only thing that's going to hurt is if like the Rangers or Astros go on like a, you know, 10-game win streak. Then, you know, the pressure is going to be obviously on a whole nother level, because then how many games are we back at that point? But, you know, again, if you're just going to get kind of mediocre play, which we obviously know the AL West is terrible this year, you know, we can still have a chance even with a very tough schedule. 2-2 pitch and high and away. Changeup missing, 90 miles an hour. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Rasmussen to Canzone. And it's not like we're going to catch the Yankees or the Rays. And obviously the White Sox and the Guardians and a few of those teams in the Central, you know, they're kind of similar. A few games above 500, but they're not, you know, doing anything spectacular, as that gets popped up. And that is 1 away. You know, so again, you know, and again, the White Sox and the Guardians and a few of those teams in the Central, you know, they're going to, you know, kind of go up and down in the standings, where they're going to be at 500, you know, a little bit below 500. And then you might see a team like the White Sox, you know, 4 or 5 games above 500. And if they get hot, you know, they could be 8 or 9 above 500 sooner than later. You know, obviously they, you know, have been playing some pretty good ball this season with Munetaka Murakami and Colson Montgomery and Miguel Vargas, the former Dodger. But, you know, again, you know, as long as you get in, anything can happen. First pitch is fouled off there by Julio. 0-1 count. And they got King Felix in the booth. I love it. Appreciate that, Velasco. Velasco with a $5. Thank you for letting me know. And again, sometimes I'll get the notification on Cash App and Venmo. Sometimes it just doesn't pop up, and I got to, you know, tap my phone and take a quick peek. So appreciate you. We're at 25 on the Dono train, 75 to go. Velasco with a $5. Shout out to Velasco and Sean. They're at 25 combined for us, 75 to go. Follow through swing, ended up getting the catcher there. I hope he's okay. I don't wish injuries on anybody. And I love being able to see the former players, in the booth. Obviously 50th anniversary, so you're getting, a lot of the OGs that are coming back, the Alvin Davises, the Harold Reynolds back in, my era when I was a kid. Crazy to see. And obviously Harold Reynolds is always on MLB Network, so if you watch that, you see him all the time. But King Felix, he's not usually on broadcast often, maybe once a year, And Julio line drive into left, yes! And Julio Rodriguez doing Julio Rodriguez things. Great job, J-Rod. Nice job, Julio. Next up is Josh Naylor. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Naylor in the box. On deck is Brendan Donovan. Let's go. And having Cal in the 8-hole, I kind of like it. He doesn't deserve to be batting. As runner goes, safe. Let's go. Julio gets a stolen bag to make up for Cole Young. And if Cole would have went head first, I think he would have been safe, but he ended up going feet first, and that was kind of the issue. So Julio knows to go head first, and great job. Because you want to make sure you have your hands in front of you. You go feet first, depending on if you have long legs or not, or long arms. You may be able to get in there, But again, you go head first and you stretch, you might have a better chance, based on the angle to get in rather than going feet first. And you might not be able to move your feet, the same way that you might be able to move your arms and your hands at the last minute. 1-0 pitch, high and away to Josh Naylor. 2 balls and no strikes from Rasmussen to Josh Naylor. Appreciate you, Velasco. Appreciate you, Sean. 2010 AL Cy Young Award winner. 1 in 2 franchise history. The other, Randy Johnson, the big unit. 2-0 pitch, high and inside. I love this at-bat for Naylor. And obviously we know, a lot of our guys, as a 3-0 count turns into ball 4. And again, when you can end up, not swinging and taking a ball, you get the pitch count up, on a good pitcher, and you get yourself a free bag. And we know Naylor can steal bags as well. So a good opportunity here for Brandon Donovan to potentially get his first RBI since coming back from the injury. Let's go, Donnie. On deck is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And like I was mentioning, not having Cal in the 2, the 3, the 4, or the 5, I kind of like it. He hasn't really played very well, right? He's been hurt. He hasn't played well. So sometimes you got to slide a guy like that, into the 6, 7, 8 role until they get going. And then once he starts heating up, you can slowly but surely move him up in the order. But, sometimes you got to be able to, modify the lineup, so to speak. And again, we've seen Dan sometimes do the right thing and sometimes do the wrong thing. And we'll see if it works out tonight. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Let's go, Donnie. And Julio getting back to second base just in time. Home run derby after. Julio picking up new hobbies. Obviously, we know his love of anime, but also obviously starting to DJ as well. It's always cool to be able to see what players end up doing during the season and also after their career, like Ken Griffey Jr. and Randy Johnson being professional photographers and being really good. Not just being a photographer and saying that, hey, I take pictures, but actually having some spectacular photos in their arsenal. Pitch fouled off and high and away. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour from Drew Rasmussen to Brendan Donovan. And again, not having Donnie for pretty much the whole year really killed a lot of the momentum that we would have been able to have for a guy that would have normally batted, somewhere between 280 and 310, was batting 300 to 350 early on in the season. And we only had him for about a month and a half. And, when you have a really good leadoff hitter, it definitely changes the tone of your team. And we would know we had Ichiro Suzuki. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. Donnie not being able to get that one. And that is 2 away. All right, let's see if the big dumper can get motivated by being in the 8 hole. I know he probably doesn't like, being there, but I think he understands why. But he's in a good position here if he gets a good swing. 3-1 Mariners if he can get a hold of one. And even getting an RBI, making it 1-1 would be great. First pitch, high and away, 1-0 count. I'll take even a walk. Just someone to get it going. And we got Colt Emerson on deck, and M has started to hit some home runs as of late, so he's starting to see the baseball a little bit better within the last few games. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. And if Cal is patient, this will end up being a walk with bases loaded for Colt Emerson. And at that point, with one good swing, it could be 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, or, best case scenario, get the mustard and rye bread, 4-1 Mariners if we can get to Colt Emerson. Pitches inside, 3 balls and no strikes from Rasmussen to Cal Raleigh. And obviously Cal can hit home runs off a 3-0 or a 3-1 count. But again, after having quite a few, 4-pitch, walks, I don't know if I would really be swinging here, but let's see. 3-0 pitch. Gets the corner and gets the strike right on the line. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Rays. Three-one pitch, big swing and a miss there for Cal. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Come on, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Judah in the building, what's good? Three-two pitch, check swing. Let's go. Let's go. Next up, in the 9 hole, the phenom, shortstop Colt Emerson. He's already got the defense down. There's no doubt about that. But again, if he wants to be one of the best all-around players like Julio and Cole Young, he just got to be a little bit more patient in the box and have a little bit more consistency. And again, if he can be patient, we can end up tying this game or even better with this at-bat. Let's go, Colt. First pitch gets fouled back to the T-Mobile bricks, 0-1 count. Come on, Colt. Let's go, Colt. We got Felix Hernandez in the booth. It's always awesome to see him. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Colt should have just taken that ball. That would have been high and inside. And again, the pressure as a rookie, with bases loaded or runners in scoring position, but, he just has to RELAX, like Aaron Rodgers would say, and let the game come to you. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And again, a rookie mistake. Those last 2 pitches would have been balls. And again, I know there's a lot of pressure, but again, Colt will learn, but a missed opportunity there by the rookie, Colt Emerson. End of the second inning, 1-0 Rays. And again, Cole Young had some of those rookie woes as well. A little bit too eager, a little bit too excited, to be the man and to make the big play. But he'll learn as he matures, and he'll be a great player for this team for many years to come. But a missed opportunity for sure. We can't deny that. All right, next up in the 9 hole, shortstop Taylor Walls. Batting second, back at the top of the order, 0 for 1, DHing Yandy Diaz. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, first baseman in the 2 hole, Jonathan Aranda. Trident's up. Let's go, M. Shout out to our female audience, our new subs, our regulars, our mods, everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia and beyond, Australia, New Zealand. I see you as well. 83 subs to go to 24,600. Hopefully we'll be able to get a few more on that side here today. We got one just moments ago. Thank you so much. 82 now subs to go to 24,600. We're at 25 on the Dono train because of Velasco and Sean. Shout out to the MVPs. 75 to go. And we should be getting pretty close to our 100-like number. We should be in that 70 to 80 range by now. And we are at 79. 21 to go. All right, Mariner Moose, we're going to need all the help that we can get. Let's go to the top of the third inning. 1-0 Rays, and hopefully, again, Logan doesn't give up any more, home runs. And again, it's just about getting the offense to be able to produce. We haven't been very good this season in a number of categories, with leaving runners in scoring position. We haven't been stealing bags, the way that we did last season. We don't bunt nearly as enough, but again, hopefully we'll get a few of, those things to be able to kind of go in our favor at some point, if not today, but in the series. And we just got to keep the game somewhat close. And again, anything can happen once the starting pitching goes out. Takes a strike, looking low and at the knees, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, another strike right down the middle. Slider, 88 miles an hour, no balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Walls. Got to be excited about the Red Sox, Judah, after being one of the worst teams, early in the year, and now being the hottest team in baseball. And, again, if they can keep it up, they are going to be the team that nobody wants to face, in the American League. The Yankees wouldn't want them. Tampa wouldn't want them. Nobody would want to face them. And it's one of the biggest turnarounds I've ever seen. And again, I know a lot of the fans hopped off the wagon when things were going bad early on, but obviously they've hopped back on this amazing win streak that they have been on. And then obviously the diehards are always going to watch no matter how good or bad Boston is. Pitch fouled off. They're out of play with a slider, 87 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Walls. Top of the third inning, 1-0 Tampa. 1-2 pitch from Gilbert. Big swing and a miss. There we go. Nice punch out. Nice punch out there by Logan Gilbert. 3 Ks so far. 2.1 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 34 pitches, 23 strikes. And then obviously with Rasmussen, we got him at 41 pitches. So again, we just got to be able to, just keep pace with all these elite playoff teams that we're going to be facing. Little slow dribbler up the middle. Emerson is there. Off the one hopper. Got him. Nice job there by Colt Emerson off the one hopper to Josh Naylor, and that is 2 away. Down goes Yandy Diaz, who's an incredible leadoff player. And now in the 2-hole, first baseman Jonathan Aranda. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Hard hit ball. Deep right field, back, gone! And Jonathan Aranda, and again, it's not ideal that, anybody gives up home runs, let alone our number one, but to be positive, they're only solo dingers. Imagine if these were 2-run jacks and we're down 4-0, and again, being down 2 stinks, but being down 4 is even worse. So, we got to be able to keep a positive attitude and hope the bats can, keep pace at some point. Jonathan Aranda, solo dinger. And now they have 2 solo dingers, one by DeLuca there in the top of the second, and now Jonathan Aranda with one here in the top of the third. Next up is Junior Caminero. And hopefully those will be the only 2 runs that Gilbert gives up. Because considering how our bullpen has pitched lately, again, unless it's Gabe Spire, and a lot of guys are unreliable. Cole Young is there with a slow dribbler over Logan's head, and that is out number 3. Yeah, you're doing really well is like if you can play a team like the Dodgers or a top tier team and beat the brakes off of them. I mean, how many teams can say that? But again, when you get hot and you have Uncle Mo on your side, again, to be one of the worst teams and then to go to being one of the best, it's almost unheard of. But again, sometimes teams get hot and they come together at the right time. And that's what you're seeing with the Boston Red Sox in 2026. And I'm a little jealous, if I'm being honest. I wish that was the Mariners story, being, not very good and then being incredibly hot. But again, with all the injuries that we've had, and obviously with the manager that we have and everything else, obviously that is not the case for us this season. All right, let's see who's up next here in the bottom of the third. And let's see if we can get on the board and get at least one. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 leadoff hitter, right fielder Taylor Ward. Batting second, 1 for 1, second baseman, my favorite player, Cole Clutch Young. And batting third, 0 for 1 left fielder, Randy Arozarena, who's actually been playing some better defense. A couple games ago, he ran into foul territory in left field on the wall, got a foul ball and a tough out with hustle, right? Then he threw a guy out at third with Brandon Donovan. Never seen that before. And then ended up robbing a home run in that game. And again, I don't know what Randy ate, that particular morning, but if we can get defensive effort out of Randy, and get the offensive effort that he's been providing, it can make him an all-around player like Julio and Cole, and that's what we need. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 82 subs to go to 24,600. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. We're at 25 on the Dono train with Sean and Velasco, 75 to go. Me and Paisley thank the two of you very, very much. And we're at 81 on the likes, 19 more, and we're at 100. 178 in the room. Shout out to our female audience, our subs, our mods, obviously, all of our regulars, of course, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. Yeah, and who would have thought, based on how you guys started to pitch at the beginning of the year, and then how you guys have started to pitch, on that run, I don't think anyone, saw that coming, and again, if you can keep it up, you're going to be the most dangerous team, not only in the American League, but in baseball, not including, obviously, like the Rays, and the Yankees in the top of the American League, as well as, like the Dodgers and the Brewers and a few of the other, top teams in the National League. But nobody's been on a better run than Boston in this, last 30 games. So little slow dribbler, run to first, and got him, and that is one away. And again, hopefully in the future, they'll, move Ward out of a leadoff spot. Again, I don't really think he's a leadoff hitter. Cole Young, Randy, Julio, and Brandon Donovan would be better choices. So, but again, sometimes Dan Wilson isn't the smartest light bulb of the bunch. First pitch is high and inside with a sinker, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. I don't even think I would want Taylor Ward even in the 2-hole. You want to be able to have your best hitters in the top 3, so that way at the end of the game, they might get a 5th at-bat, not 4, right? Is Taylor Ward one of the best hitters on the team? No. So why is he batting first? Make it make sense. Popped up into left, and that is 2 away. Simpson there, Chandler getting Cole Young out in left field. So again, you want Randy batting in the top 3 spots. You want Cole Young batting, and you probably want Julio, batting in the top 3 spots. And if not, obviously we've seen Dom there, and DH in right field sitting there as well, but a little bit more streaky of a player, But again, you want to be able to have your best hitters, have that potential 5th at bat. And again, just not really sure what they're doing. Little slow dribbler up the middle, throw to first, and down goes Randy Arozarena in a very quick inning for the Mariners there, and that is out number 3. End of the 3rd inning, 2-0 Tampa. Got to be more patient in the box if we're going to have any chance of coming back against this Tampa Bay talented team. 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40-plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. He is retiring after the season, so we dedicate every stream to the one and the only Rick Riz. We love you. Let's see who's up next here as we go to the top of the 4th inning for Tampa Bay. Next up for the Rays, 0 for 1 in the 4-hole, catcher Liam Hicks. Batting second in the 5-hole, left fielder Chandler Simpson. And batting third in the 6-hole, center fielder, 1 for 1 with a solo dinger, Johnny DeLuca. Trident's up. Let's go M's. And let's look at the pitching numbers so far. So 3 innings pitched for Rasmussen, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks, 47 pitches, 27 strikes with a 2.84 ERA. And then obviously with Logan, with 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks, 37 pitches, 26 strikes with a 3.52 ERA. End of the 3rd inning, 2-0 Tampa. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Exactly. And again, sometimes it's a combination of things, pitching, finding its rhythm, maybe having an easy stretch to kind of get the rally going. And then you start competing against the really good teams. And then you have that momentum on your side and you start beating those really good teams, and then obviously the belief factor, when you have everyone believing and they're on the same page, crazy things happen, right? If you end up having any of the players on the team with any kind of doubt, you're not going to get the best version of that player. And again, baseball is very mental, not just physical. And a lot of guys, get into these mental health battles, when they end up going on slumps, and it definitely takes a special type of person and player to be able to get out of a slump and, and obviously encourage others to be able to be the best version of themselves as well. Top of the 4th inning, 2-0 Tampa. First pitch into Hicks, fouled off, out of play, 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 281 average, 15 homers, 66 ribbies for Liam Hicks in 2026. 0-1 pitch, low and away, changeup missing, 88 miles an hour there by Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the 4th, 2-0 Rays. Only solo dingers. We just need to be able to capitalize when we have runners in scoring position, and we're going to need to homer at least once every game if we're going to compete against the Rays. Little slow dribbler, flip back to Logan by Josh Naylor. Great teamwork, and that is 1 away. Next up is Chandler Simpson. On deck is Johnny DeLuca. Yeah, and I know a lot of Mariner fans, including myself, would love for Dan to go, and if we could get somebody new, that has a little bit more fire in their ability and a little bit more baseball IQ, because Dan is essentially the same as Scott Service. Their mannerisms, the way they manage, they're kind of soft. They don't really have a whole lot of fire. And again, we appreciated Dan as a catcher in the Randy Johnson era, but as a manager, this is not what we need if we're trying to be able to get to a World Series and win. He's just not good enough. We need somebody better, a better leader. And time is called after a strike looking low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Simpson. But again, Lou Pinellas don't grow on trees. And again, there's only 4 or 5 good managers out of 30 teams. So it's hard to get a good one. And they're just all former players that get rotated in a revolving door and get hired and fired. But if there could be, one day us getting a Dusty Baker, Tony La Russa type of manager, that could be the difference. A Lou Piniella type, that could actually take us, to the promised land. But again, those type of managers are very far and few between. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees with a slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Simpson. A Tommy Lasorda, You want to have that fire in their belly, and have that baseball IQ and intelligence, knowing that they'll blow up, and stand up for themselves, the team, the city, the players, but they're not going to do it all the time, but, you got to pick and choose your moments. And a lot of times you get in a fight or you get thrown out, it fires the team up, when they know it's your personality. And now we got a challenge. And we're out of challenges now. This one 1.1 inches away after losing the first challenge, being 0.1 inches off. And now no more challenges for the rest of the day. And that will factor, towards the end of the game. Three-two pitch. Popped up into left. Randy is there. And that is 2 away. Next up is Johnny DeLuca. Hit a home run in the top of the second inning, and we can't have any more home runs given up. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Global broadcast here on Apple TV. Big swing and a miss. 0-1 count. Johnny DeLuca in the box. Logan Gilbert on the mound. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss again to Johnny DeLuca. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to DeLuca. Back-to-back sliders on point for Gilbert. And that is strike 3. Let's go. All right, offense, again, Logan's trying to do his best, by giving up 2 runs or less. But again, we just need to get on the board. And again, it's like no excuses. I know we're going against really good pitching, not only in this game, but lately. And this month is going to be brutal. But again, look at the names that the Mariners have on the squad. It's not like we have a scrub team. We have a lot of really good players. But again, we just got to be able to get runners in scoring position to come home. And we need home runs. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and see who's up next for Seattle. Next up, 0 for 1, the Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. I would love a Dom bomb, baby. Batting second, 1 for 1 with a single already, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Could we get a bomb from Julio? I hope so. And batting third, 0 for 0 with a walk, a patient at bat by Josh Naylor. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We're at 25 on the donut train, 75 to go. 82 subs to go to 24,600. And we should be getting pretty close to 100 likes now as we're approaching the bottom of the 4th inning. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We have almost 200 in the room. And where are we at? We're at 88. Can we get 12 people to hit that like button so we can get to 100? And then it'll be easy sailing after that. JT in the building. What's good? JT with a $5 for the dream. Appreciate you. Me and Paisley, appreciate you. Not JT with a $5 for the dream. You know what it's about. Appreciate you, brother. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-0 pitch, low and away with the curveball by Rasmussen. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and away. Sinker 95 miles an hour there by Rasmussen. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-0 Rays. And again, this is going to be the hardest schedule for the Mariners all season long. We, played the Tigers. Now we play the Rays. Then we go on the road and play the Yankees. And then we also have teams like the Astros, which will not be easy, no matter what their record is. And then you got teams like the Phillies and the Brewers and the Cubs. It's just crazy. Not ideal. It would be nice to sprinkle some of those teams into September, but it does get a lot easier in September. But again, if we're 15 games below 500 going into September, we're probably not going to be able to catch up, even if we end up having a great September record. So we got to be able to try to stay afloat to the best of our ability and overachieve against some of these really good playoff teams that we're going to be matching up against. 2-2 pitch. Into the dirt, low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Come on, Dom. Toby in the building. What's good? And we know the Rays are going to be great. We know the Yankees are going to be great. And that is strike three looking. I don't know about that. That pitch looked a little high, but we have no challenges left. And Dom is frustrated, and that is one away. But Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, Cody Bellinger have been banged up, and hopefully Judge will come back for that team, for that fan base that likes Aaron Judge. And obviously we know the Rays are doing their thing, and Munetaka Murakami and Colson Montgomery, Miguel Vargas, they're making Chicago a playoff team, which is nice since they've been bottom feeders for so long. And the Guardians are going to be up and down in that division. Hard hit ball there by Julio Rodriguez, fouling out of play. And then obviously there's going to be a battle between the Rangers, Astros, and Mariners, obviously in the AL West. And then obviously in the National League, you got the Dodgers and the Brewers and the Cubs and a number of teams that are going to be battling it out for National League supremacy. 0-1 pitch, fouled off right in front of the catcher there. Sinker by Rasmussen. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning, 2-0 Rays. There we go. Let's get that last like to get over 100. And then, we should be able to get 150 to 200 before the stream ends. But it's just about getting that first 100, and then it's kind of, easy sailing, and we can coast at that point. After that, big swing and a miss on an 0-2 pitch. Down goes Julio with a little bit of a shrug and a frown there. Rasmussen is dealing, though. And again, when you do go against a good pitcher, whether it's a righty or a lefty, and you don't have the patience or you're not seeing the ball, sometimes you get rocked. And Rasmussen is a good pitcher, 10-5 record, and obviously a good ERA. So... but again, at some point we have to have a mini meltdown to get back in it. Next up is Josh Naylor with 2 outs. First pitch, hard hit ball. And a line drive right to the first baseman, and that's happened twice today. And again, we hit into 4 or 5 double plays yesterday, and a lot of line drives being caught by the first baseman as well. And again, each team has 2 hits, but the difference is the 2 hits for the Rays are home runs, and our 2 are singles. So something's got to change. End of the 4th inning, 2-0 Tampa. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up in the 7-hole, 0-for-1 right fielder Victor Mesa Jr. Batting second, 0-for-1 with a K in the 8-hole, second baseman Richie Palacios. And batting third, 0-for-1 with a K, shortstop Taylor Walls. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. $82 subs away from 24,600. Gained a couple more subs during the commercial break. Thank you so much. Gained 2. Shout out to our new subs. 80 subs to go now to 24,600. We're at 30 on the Dono train, 70 to go. Shout out to Velasco, not JT, and Sean for getting the ball rolling. And we are finally over 100 likes. Thank you so much. We're at 105, 95 to go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Well, that's a lie because they only have been in existence since 1977. Come on, two-step. Stop lying. They didn't even exist in 1965. Come on, my guy. No need to front. You can be honest. We don't need liars in here. 50th anniversary. Come on, man. Do your math. If you're going to lie, you got to do the math at least. First pitch to Victor Mesa Jr. Takes the strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. He said, I've been rooting for the Mariners 12 years before they even existed. That's a lot of fandom. Even before the thought of the name and who they were and the team, and before anyone was even picked to be on the team, he was rooting for them. Pitches low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Mesa Jr. I needed a good lie and a laugh today. Thank you for giving that to me. 1-1 pitch. Popped up into left. And that drops into Randy's area. Hustle, Randy. I mean, Judah's been a fan and since 1906. He's 120 years old. Who would have thought? Oldest human alive. Got to be careful with those ground balls in Randy's area. But Victor Mesa Jr. crushing that baseball. And, Randy is like so close on a lot of those plays. Like if he just hustled and dove for that, he might have been able to get it, and those are the things that are kind of maddening. It's like, I've seen one good defensive game out of Randy all season, and it was like a game or two ago. And a bunt attempt by Palacios, and that's what great teams do. They bunt. I wish the Mariners would bunt 1 to 3 times a game, but, we don't have a good enough manager to be able to make that happen. And another bunt attempt. Throw back to second and safe. Top of the 5th inning, 2-0 Tampa. Runner at second with no outs. Come on, Gilbert, finish strong. And it's just a matter of time that the offense gets going, whether we have to wait for Rasmussen to exit, or if we can get a run on him before he exits. Bunt attempt. Throw to first. And moves the runner over, and that is 1 away. Great bunt there by Palacios. And again, I hope the Mariners, take some notice. That's how you bunt, and that's how you move a runner over. Mesa Jr. to third. Good sack bunt there by Palacios. And that is 1 away. We've got to keep them stranded at third, hopefully. And another bunt attempt. And then, and amazing teams, do amazing things. Imagine bunting twice, getting the runner from second to third, and getting that runner to go from third to home and scoring and actually being safe. Tampa is a team that could actually execute that play. And there's not a lot of teams that could do it, but Tampa is definitely one of them. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Walls. Oh boy, starting to do lie after lie after lie. Two balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Walls. He was hoping that nobody would call him out. It's like no one really knows when they started, did they? You got to realize how many fans that have been fans since the very beginning, or even since the 80s. Top of the 5th inning. Runner at third with 1 out. 2-0 Tampa. Solo dingers. 2 of them by Tampa Bay, by DeLuca and Aranda. And again, Logan has actually pitched, pretty well besides the home runs. It's just, when we had bases loaded, we didn't get anything, and hopefully that won't be the case the next time that happens. 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 3 balls and no strikes to Taylor Walls. Yeah, it's our 50th anniversary this year. 50th anniversary for the Hawks last year, and we know what happened with them. Pitch fouled off behind the plate. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike with a runner at third and 1 out. Top of the fifth, 2-0 Rays. And I, recommend if you have HBO, to watch Hard Knocks with the Seahawks. It's a good watch. Any Hard Knocks is a good watch, just like receiver and quarterback. And the bunt. And out of the base path there. They tried to do it, man. They tried to bunt to bring that runner home from third, and that's like insult to injury, But again, Cal with the tag. Runner went outside of the base path. That's an out. But he throws that mask off immediately, has the good awareness, and Cal had the baseball in his hand, not in the glove. Not a reviewable play. And Cal has to make sure, that ball ends up being in the glove, or he ends up tagging him with the ball, because it's not going to fly next time. He actually got away with one there. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. But when you're in like the heat of the moment, when things are coming at you, obviously that's kind of like one of those like brain fart type of things where you had it in the glove and then you separate the glove and you try to tag the guy as he's going outside. And then for a split second, you forget that the other hand has the ball in it, and obviously that should have been reviewed, but it's a non-reviewable play. But obviously that is something that the umps got, obviously wrong there. And, it happens from time to time. Big swing and a miss, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the fifth, 2-0 Tampa. Two-one pitch, low and at the knees, inside with the slider, 88 miles an hour. 3 balls and 1 strike to Yandy Diaz. Throw to first and safe. And we'll see if we end up getting this out at first base or not. Ooh, that's close. Might have got him on the leg right before the hand touched the bag. It's close. Looks like he got him on the leg before the hand touches the bag. But again, we got away with one with that bunt at home. That should have been probably 3-0 unless they said that he went outside the base path. But obviously Cal had the ball in his hand and tagged the runner with the mitt. But it looked like the ump at home was saying he kind of went outside the base path anyways. So, and then this nice swipe by Josh Naylor. It's close, but it looks like he gets him in the leg, right before the hand touches the bag. It's like a bang-bang play, but we'll see. Yeah, baby. Runner is out. Let's go. And we need all the help that we can get, but it did look like a legit out. So, we got away with one with Cal, unless he was outside the base path, having the ball in his hand and with a tag in the mitt, but I think it was based on him being outside the base path, and that's an automatic out if you go outside of that. And then a nice throw from Gilbert to Naylor, getting the swipe there at first base when he was, hanging a little bit closer to jump to second, and we'll take it. Let's go to the bottom of the fifth inning, and let's see if we can tie this game up or at least get a run. Trident's up. Let's go, Elms. Next up, 0 for 1 with a K, third baseman Brendan Donovan. Let's go, Donnie. Batting second, 0 for 0 with a walk, big dumper Cal Raleigh. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K. Just have some patience, my guy. Shortstop rookie, Colt Emerson. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. We're at 30 on the Dono train, 70 to go. And we're at 112 likes, 88 to go. $80 subs to go to 24,600. And gained another sub. Appreciate you. 79 to go to 24,600. Less than 500 subs to go to 25,000. 6.2 million views and counting. Next goal will be 7 million views, then 8, then 9, then 10. And then obviously after we get to 25,000, then 30,000, then 35, and then 40, 45, and then 50. And then the long-term goal, 100,000 subs. Rasmussen on the mound, Brendan Donovan in the box. First pitch for Donnie, little slow dribbler towards first, flip back to the pitcher from Rasmussen, and then a toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. Got to be more patient, especially when we're down. You don't want to have just one swing on the first pitch with a pop-up or a ground out. That really kills the momentum. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. On deck is Colt Emerson. And first pitch, Cal pops it up. And again, Donnie grounding out on the first pitch, Cal popping up on this. Again, if you want to be able to come back, you got to have some baseball IQ. You want to get the pitch count up, get to pitch 4, 5, 6. And a lot of these players, are just overly aggressive and it's hurting the team. Now, if you're getting singles and home runs off the first pitch, fine. But again, if you're not, you're really killing, the chances of us being able to, make a comeback, in that particular inning when you have back-to-back batters getting out on the first pitch. Not ideal. And hopefully Colt won't do it again. First pitch low and at the knees, four-seam fastball, 93 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Two-0 pitch, popped up and out of play. Four-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour by Drew Rasmussen to Colt Emerson. And again, we just need a solo dinger of our own just to, feel good about ourselves, to kind of feel like, okay, we're down 2-1 and, we don't know how many more they're going to get, and we don't know how good or bad our bullpen will be. But if we can just get to 1, against the best team in the American League, that's all we're asking for at the moment. Pitch is inside. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to Colt Emerson. 3-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Colt Emerson. Come on, Colt. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 3-2 pitch. Popped up and out of play. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Colt Emerson. Come on, Colt. Three-two pitch, popped up. And that goes, thankfully, out of play. Come on, Ems. Schlittler, Patrick, Tal, and Rasmussen. Highest fastball usage, 80.8. Obviously, Schlittler is known for it. 90%. Count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Colt Emerson. Come on, Colt. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Colt. And that is out number 3. End of the 5th inning, 2-0 Rays. Let's go to the top of the 6th and see who's up next for Tampa. 1 for 2 with a run, RBI, and a K. First baseman Jonathan Aranda, who had a home run earlier. Can't hit another home run at this at-bat. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a walk. Third baseman Junior Caminero, third baseman Superstar. And batting third, 0 for 2 in the 4-hole, catcher Liam Hicks. Trident's up. Let's go M's. I mean, as long as we don't get down by more than 5 runs, there's always a chance. It might be a small chance, but at least it's a chance. Let's take a look at pitch count and stats for both pitchers. Rasmussen having a great game. 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 5 Ks, 67 pitches, 41 strikes, 2.80 ERA. Logan Gilbert, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 Ks, 64 pitches, 41 strikes with a 3.46 ERA. So, and it's not like either team is hitting a lot, right? You know, the Rays only have 3 hits on Logan, but unfortunately 2 are single solo jacks, right? 2 home runs out of the 3 hits. We have 2 hits and they're 2 singles. You know, and again, if you're going to get a hit, you have to make it worthwhile. And, you know, the Rays maximize their at-bats. And unfortunately, we only have 2 singles at the moment. And we had that bases loaded, stranded moment, which could have made the game 2-1 or 2-2. But again, baseball is hard. Okay, it looks like Yandy Diaz will be up after getting the swipe at first base. I forgot. Then Jonathan Aranda, and then Junior Caminero. That's an amazing 1-2-3, one of the best in the league. First pitch from Gilbert to Yandy Diaz takes a strike looking low and at the knees. 0-1 count. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. 0-1 pitch. Little dribbler towards third. Donnie is there. Throw to Naylor. Got him. And that is 1 away. And I feel the most trust, you know, from someone throwing the ball from third base from Brandon Donovan. You know, we've had Colt Emerson there, JP there, Leo Rivas there, and a few others, Weston Wilson, but it's just nice to have Donnie back, and hopefully he'll get going offensively, but I trust him at third. And that was one of the holes and gaps that we needed to fill, and we did. Thankfully, he's back. First pitch from Gilbert to Jonathan Aranda. Pitch is low and away with a 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Global broadcast here on Apple TV on this Friday night. We're not getting blasted, we're only down 2. We just, need to be able to capitalize the next time we have runners in scoring position or get that unexpected home run, whether it's on Rasmussen or on the bullpen. And Randy Arozarena is there in left. There we go. And that is 2 away. If we're going to have a quick inning, the Rays have got to have a few quick innings as well to compensate. Next up in the 3-hole, third baseman, Junior Caminero. Yeah, WBC screwed it up for a lot of players, not just on the Mariners, but in general, just the overall routine. And I do believe we will have a season, but I wouldn't be shocked if it ends up being a shortened season. Hopefully they, can get it resolved before, the first game would be normally played. But realistically, they're going to probably fight each other a little bit on it. And hopefully it's only like the first couple months that will be missed. And hopefully we can get baseball back, maybe by June. And if that's the case, we can still have like 100 games, and if we have to, cancel 62 games and have a 100-game season, I'm okay with that. I just want to have baseball. Obviously, if we can end up having more than 100 games, that would be ideal. But, hopefully we don't have the whole entire season canceled. And that could happen also. And that would make me super depressed. I would be able to do other things, Kraken and Blazers and, wrestling and, NASCAR and these other things while I'm waiting, for football season to get going in the fall. But, obviously at the beginning of the year, once football ends, we look forward to baseball, and not having baseball, it would be terrible. So hopefully they'll be able to figure it out and we can have some kind of season rather than no season. 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Caminero. Top of the 6th inning, 2-0 Tampa. 3-1 pitch, high and inside, and Junior Caminero with a walk. I mean, I don't mind if Caminero gets walked from, time to time, as long as the next guy up doesn't hit a homer. Next up in the 4-hole, catcher Liam Hicks. On deck is Chandler Simpson. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And Hicks. And a little blooper that lands in front of Taylor Ward. And now we got runners at first and second with 2 outs. Come on. Next up is Chandler Simpson. Next up after that on deck is Johnny DeLuca. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We got to find a way to get out of this little mini jam that Logan has got himself into. First pitch is low and away with a cutter, 92 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Come on, Logan. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. Slider 87 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Top of the 6th, 2-0 Tampa. And again, we just got to be able to keep it close, and you just never know. You walk a guy, you get a single, next guy up hits a 3-run jack like Julio did a couple days ago, then you're right back in it. In there for a strike on a 2-0 count. Nice four-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. Low, but in the zone. 2 balls, 1 strike, runners at first and second and 2 outs. Gilbert on the mound for the Mariners. Chandler Simpson in the box for the Tampa Bay Rays. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 2-1 pitch. Popped up. And Randy is there. And runners are stranded, and that is out number 3. Let's go. All right, let's see who's up next here as we go to the bottom of the 6th, and we got to get on the board. Next up, 0 for 2, right fielder Taylor Ward, and I think this is a mistake. Taylor Ward should not be a leadoff hitter. It should either be Cole Young, Randy Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez, and then once Brendan Donovan gets going, maybe him. But it should be either Cole, Randy, or Julio. And I typically don't like Julio leading off, so it should be either Cole or Randy. And again, I don't know what Dan is smoking, thinking that Ward is a good leadoff hitter. He hasn't been a good player this season, and to put him in that leadoff spot just doesn't make any sense. But let's see if Ward can get a hit here. Batting second, 1 for 2 in the 2-hole. Second baseman Cole Clutch Young, and batting third, 0 for 2 left fielder Randy Orosarina. But I really do like when Julio and Cole are side by side in the batting order. Seems like they usually do very well when that happens, or even Cole and Randy. But you want to make sure you're having your best hitters, with the most opportunities, 5 at-bats rather than 4. And giving potentially Taylor Ward an opportunity to get another at-bat compared to someone else, that doesn't really make sense. It's not like we're the Red Sox or the Dodgers and we can afford to do that. We need to be strategic. But Dan Wilson isn't very smart. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Rays. We're at 30 on the Dono train, 70 to go. 79 subs to go to 24,600. And we're at 124 likes, 76 to 200. Yeah, he walks a lot, but again, we need to be able to get someone that can get hits as well. It's like if you're going to have a guy like that, rather it be J.P. Crawford when he comes back. Oh, 1 pitch after a big swing and a miss right down the middle. Goes out of play by Taylor Ward, the former Angel and Oriole. Now, if this was the Taylor Ward from the Angels, I wouldn't have an issue, with him leading off. But obviously the game for him has dropped off a little bit. But sometimes a change of scenery, can end up elevating you. And yeah, he does walk a lot, like J.P. Crawford, But again, I don't think he's as good of a hitter as J.P. And sometimes J.P. isn't really a great hitter. Sometimes he struggles, from time to time. He's very streaky. So, if you're just hoping that Taylor Ward's going to get walked as a leadoff hitter over and over and over, well, he might once in a while, but it's not going to be every at-bat. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Rasmussen to Taylor Ward. But if you're leading him off because you think he's going to get walked every time, and I think that's why Dan is doing it, it shows that he's not very intelligent as far as baseball IQ. You can still get the walks by having him bat, 7th, or 8th. Doesn't need to be batting first. And that is strike 3. Down goes Taylor Ward. And that is 1 away. But I think the lineup that I like the best, if it's Cole Young leading off, Randy in the 2, Julio in the 3, and then Dom in the 4. And then, depending on where Naylor and Cal is in the lineup, you can have them 5 or 6 or 6 or 5. And then until Donnie proves that he can hit, you keep him in the 7. And then obviously Colt is perfect, at the 9 until he can get better, But again, you got to be able to go with your best hitters. And I feel, at the moment, it's, Cole Young, Randy Orosarina, and Julio Rodriguez. We know Dom and Luke Raley were streaky. And when they're hot, they're extremely hot, but sometimes they go cold. Luke Raley is out for the year, had surgery, and, we're going to miss him. But JP should be coming back pretty soon, as well as Brash, Vargas, and Cooper Criswell in the pen. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cole Clutch Young. Let's go, Cole. 1-1 pitch, fouled off. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. 2-0 Tampa. Come on, Cole. And obviously Julio can be batting, anywhere, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, you can really put him in any of those spots, depending on injuries and whatnot. So. Down goes Cole Young. That is 2 away. Next up is Randy Orosarina. First pitch is low and away with a sinker. 1-0 count. You got an ABS challenge here. Rays challenge and lose the challenge. One ball and no strikes to Randy Arozarena. 1-0 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Bottom of the 6th, 2-0 Rays. And again, it's not like either team has really been going crazy hitting wise. The Rays only have 4 hits, but 2 of them are home runs. And we don't have any home runs yet. And we got 2 singles. We did have bases loaded once, but we weren't able to cash in. And obviously, if we end up having another opportunity like that, we need to. Even if it ends up only bringing in a run, just something to get off the 0. 2-1 pitch, low and away. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Yeah, I don't think we will. I don't think we're going to put up another 0 today. We'll get at least 1. I don't know, if we can, put up 5 today, of course, unless we have that monster meltdown by the bullpen. But, 1 to 3 runs is attainable. But again, you're running out of time, and you got to be able to get Rasmussen out of the game and hope that the bullpen has a meltdown. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Rasmussen to Randy Arozarena. And Randy, hard hit ball into right, but caught. Good defense out there in right field. And that is out number 3. And it shows you how good Tampa is on defense. I mean, when you get these hard hit balls to first base or into the outfield, there is not a lot that they miss, and again, in the right place at the right time, athletic bodies making athletic plays. And that's why the Tampa Bay Rays are the best team in the American League by a landslide. Obviously, Yankees are number 2. But again, if they had Aaron Judge, Cody Bellinger, and Giancarlo Stanton healthy, then the records would be a little bit closer, but Yankees are still the number 2 team, even with injuries to a lot of their stars this season. And it shows you the depth that they have over there. All right, end of the 6th inning, 2-0 Rays. Let's see who's up next here for Tampa. Next up for the Rays, 1 for 2 with a run, RBI and a K, Johnny DeLuca. Batting second, 1 for 2, Victor Mesa Jr., who we just made that play on Randy's right field pop-up. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, second baseman Richie Palacios. We're going to the top of the 7th inning. We got a 3-inning sprint to try to win this game 3-2. Grab some water real quick. First pitch, right down the middle to Johnny DeLuca with a strike-looking 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, low and into the dirt. Slider there by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to DeLuca. I mean, and considering, some of our pitchers give up 5 to 10 runs, again, you're playing the number 1 team in the American League that's got the best chance to make the World Series for the American League, and they have 2 solo dingers. I mean, I know there's a lot of teams that, would love for that to happen to them, but again, we need to be able to, at some point get a home run. When we hit at least one home run, the chance of us winning the game goes up like 90%. When we don't hit a one home run or more, we usually lose, 90% or more of those particular games. So, and we're not very good in low scoring games when we don't score a home run. So we'll see how it all plays out. And, we just got to have a meltdown by somebody on the Tampa Bay Rays. Pitch is high and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to DeLuca. 3-2 pitch. Incoming in a moment. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Come on, Logan. 3-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Got him. There we go. That's 1 away. Next up is Victor Mesa Jr. On deck is Richie Palacios. Yeah, not having JP, obviously, with his, most patient hitter on the team presence, we're missing him, and again, no more Luke Raley. He's out for the year, which is not ideal. We did get Donnie back and whatnot, but again, it's, about having that, certain type of chemistry and continuity with certain players. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Victor Mesa Jr. And obviously we know Randy is a free agent at the end of the year. And, JP obviously has had some defensive issues at shortstop and third, and now is a rotational player instead of a starter. But I wouldn't mind JP coming back next year to the team. And he goes around, and that is 2 away. Good job there by Logan Gilbert. Gilbert now with 6 Ks. Rasmussen with 7. Rasmussen had 82 pitches. Gilbert at 87. So they're kind of neck and neck based on how they played the game. Just the difference is a couple of their hits, ended up being solo dingers, and both of our hits so far are just singles. So it's our turn to hit a home run, whenever that may be, whether it's in the 7th, the 8th, or the 9th. Next up is Richie Palacios. First pitch to Palacios is low and away with the changeup, 87 miles an hour, 1-0 count. But definitely a pitcher's duel. 1-0 pitch from Gilbert, low and away. Slider missing, 88 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the 7th inning, 2-0 Tampa. Come on, Gilbert, finish strong. Yeah, and imagine if Luke Raley would have been a starter the whole year and Dominic Canzone, like how many more home runs and how many more games we would have won instead of doing the splits and bringing in guys like Rob Refsnyder, and the numbers could have been quite a bit better, and we probably would have 5 or 6 more wins than what we have now if, Dom and Luke were everyday starters rather than just playing, once in a while, even though Dom now is, pretty much playing every day, but a little too late. 3-0 pitch, and that is a 4-pitch walk to Richie Palacios. Yeah, but again, it's going to be just like this, all of August. After we have this set at home, we go on the road and we play the Yankees, then we're going to play the Astros, and we're playing the Phillies, and then the Brewers and the Cubs. I mean, really, the only team that we play this month that might not make the playoffs is the Astros. And again, sometimes we play the Astros tough, and sometimes we get our ass kicked, regardless of their record. So this is definitely the hardest month of the season. And even if we were playing, like last year, it still would be challenging, based on how these teams are playing this year. A lot of the teams that we're playing, could be, potentially World Series contenders, and they are, right? The Rays and the Yankees and then the Cubs and the Phillies and the Brewers, and we just played the fucking Dodgers, and, it's been rough. going into the All-Star break, playing the fucking hottest team in baseball at that point, the Marlins, and then the Rays, and, back-to-back against the Rangers and the Dodgers. It's just, it's been kind of a nightmare, not only with the scheduling, but just the lack of hitting and pitching. And, we just got to be able to do our best to stay positive with these tough times. First pitch is low and at the knees. Four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Taylor Walls in the box, Logan Gilbert on the mound. But the schedule makers definitely didn't do us any favors in August, and it gets much easier in September. But I would have rather split up the schedule with half of the schedule in August and half in September, instead of just all of these as insane fucking good teams in August and then kind of an easier schedule in September. I would have liked to have it a little bit more balanced, but, it is what it is. 2-0 pitch inside, 3 balls and no strikes to Taylor Walls. Come on, Logan. Time is called. Gilbert on the mound. Taylor Walls in the box. Runner at first with 2 outs. And again, this is the Mariners. You have to realize you have to be mentally tough to be a fan of any team in Oregon and Washington. There's going to be a lot of disappointment, and again, there's going to be a lot of lows, but again, there will be some highs, but obviously, sometimes those are far and few between. And again, that's what makes the winning teams, that much more special to us, because again, sometimes we have a few bad teams until we get that really good team. And then, we haven't learned really consistency with our teams in Oregon and Washington. We're not like the Dodgers in Oregon and Washington, where we can just be championship contender year in and year out. It's just, a lot of times for teams in Oregon and Washington, you got to build it for like 4 or 5 years and then hope that you have the right coach, manager leading the team, and then you have the right players and not a lot of injuries. And then you come together and have this like spectacular season like the Hawks had last year and the Mariners had last year. But it's not going to be like that every year. And obviously expectations were really high, and obviously the players have felt the pressure. And on top of that, we've had more injuries this year than any team the Mariners have had in the last 40. So it's like, a lot of things have gone our way on top of the injuries, poor managing, right? Players playing worse than expected, with like Wu and Kirby and Mooney, even though Mooney's kind of turned it around, and it seems like Kirby has started to turn it around as well. We did have some guys be a little bit better than expected, right? Cole Young has been the bright spot this year. Emerson Hancock and Bryce Miller were bright spots early on, but they're kind of going downhill a little bit. So they're kind of getting back to earth. But again, really the only one thing that we can say consistently has been great is Cole Clutch Young. Other than that, we don't really have a whole lot to be like, Cal Raleigh over here and, Randy over here and, Naylor over here. I mean, it's like Naylor has not played as good as last year. And obviously Luke Raley now is hurt, but him and Dom are streaky, and sometimes they're good, but sometimes, they struggle. And, it's just one of those years, where you got to be mentally tough. And again, if you're not mentally tough, teams are not for you, if you can't handle the L's and the poor play and the lack of production. You go back and look at a roster that the Mariners had from 10, 15, 20 years ago. At least this team has fun players, to watch and root for, compared to having 1 or 2 good players and then the rest are trash, and then you're getting the same results or worse. Remember, 10, 15 years ago, even sooner than that, we were striking out 15, 20 times a game and would only have 1 or 2 like recognizable names in the lineup. But luckily we've had guys like King Felix and Raul Ibanez and, Kyle Seager and, a few others to give us a little bit of hope, even though we had no hope of making the playoffs. 0-1 pitch, high and inside, 1 ball and 1 strike from Bizardo to Diaz. And why is Bizardo in? He's had meltdowns in the last 6 of 7 opportunities, and not ideal to be having Bizardo come out when we're still at a 2-0 game. 1-1 pitch, high and inside, and then low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Yandy Diaz. Two-one pitch, and Diaz pops up, and Young is there, my boy. My favorite player on the team, the only bright spot really this year. And Cole Clutch Young getting the job done. And again, we don't have too many guys that can play offense and defense on the high level like Cole Young and Julio Rodriguez. And coincidentally, those are my 2 favorite players on the team. And Bizzardo doesn't have a meltdown, thank God, but he only needed to get 1 out. And now we go to the bottom of the 7th. We need a sprint to try to win this game 3-2 somehow, some way. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 2 with a K, DHing Dominic Canzone. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a K, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, Josh Naylor. And I think the whole, lefties, pitching to righties and righties pitching to lefties, I think, some analytics, are helpful, but I think it's a little overblown where, a lefty throwing to another lefty, oh, they can't do it, and that's a bunch of bullshit because we know lefties can throw to left-handed hitters and they can still hit home runs. I mean, Dom proved that a few games back where he hit 2 on lefties, but again, if you're going to go, play it safe and not, play to a certain type of way, you're really hurting the ball club. And obviously Dan is too conservative, just like Scott Service. And again, you need to have your best players playing every day, not having, some bullshit shit lineup when we have a lefty on the mound. And then you got 3 guys that are righties that can't even hit against righties or lefties. And then you just assume that they're going to do something big because a lefty's on the mound. I mean, just make it make sense. I mean, even sometimes you have guys like Ref Snyder. Yeah, you were good on Boston last year, but again, this is Seattle. It's the hardest ballpark to hit at, and sometimes it's just not going to work out. And Ref Snyder obviously was a failed experiment. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and hopefully we can find a way to get some production on the board. 79 subs to go to 24,600. We're at 30 on the dono train, 70 to go. And let's see where we're at on the likes. Hopefully we're getting close to that 150 number. We got 202 in the room. Global broadcast here on Apple TV. And we're at 133. We need 17 more. I think Cole has a chance to be the best player on the team sooner than later. And with guys like Julio on the team, that's really saying something. But, if Cole can get that batting average up, that's the only thing he needs to do. Get it to 270 to 300, and he'll be the starting second baseman every year moving forward, or a reserve in the All-Star game. He'll be that good. I mean, he's already one of the best second basemen already, and he's only in his 2nd year. Popped up, and that is 1 away. Down goes Dominic Canzone. Ernie Clement, he had better homers and ribbies than him. You got Drake Baldwin, obviously, doing good things like Shea Langoliers at catcher. And obviously we saw Cal doing what he did. And then obviously you have Ozzie Albies, playing second base in the National League. So with Ozzie Albies and Ernie Clement, if that's the standard, give me Cole Young all day, every day over those 2. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. First pitch takes a strike, looking high and inside, 0-1 count. I don't think we're going to get shut out. I think we'll be able to get something going. Got to be positive. And again, a lot of things have gone wrong. We've had more things go wrong this season than any year that I can ever remember watching. And I've been watching for like 40 fucking years, so it's like, the talent that we have is exciting, but also it's disappointing when you have talent and they don't produce. So I get it. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. But I'd rather watch talent not produce than not have any talent and then, or one guy that's good out of like 9 and then strike out 20 times a game and have the same results. So, eventually good things will happen, but it's been a rough year. There's no doubt about it. And again, we haven't been a very patient hitting team. We've been overly aggressive. And if you're going to be overly aggressive and you got a good pitcher on the mound, guess what? They're going to make you fucking pay, and they have. First pitch to Naylor pops up and out of play. And again, it's up to the players on the Mariners to have better baseball IQ. Like, why the hell is half of the lineup swinging at the first pitch? And that's why not having JP in the lineup is hurting us. Even though he might make errors at shortstop and third this season, he's been our most patient hitter. And sometimes a guy drawing a walk will get the next guy to be a little bit more patient to get a big hit. But if everyone's swinging at the first two pitches, popping up and grounding out, and then the next guy does it and the next guy does it, then all of a sudden you have three pitches and then three outs, and then the momentum, there's no momentum to gain. And it keeps the pitch count low, for the starting pitcher. And then you get a guy like Rasmussen who's pitching in, 7-8 innings. And then it's almost impossible to win. So, a lot of things that could be corrected, by these Mariner players. But, it's up to Dan Wilson and the players to make the change. Little slow dribbler, throw to first, off the hop. Lazy effort by Naylor running to first. And that is out number 3. We don't have Ichiro Suzuki on the team. Imagine if Ichiro was our leadoff hitter. The entire vibe of this team would be different, And again, it's like, you got Ichiro on the team, it's like having, like a Jordan or a LeBron, it's like, you can't be lazy. They're going to call you out, and you got to lead by example. And when you have greatness on the team, if you're going to be lazy, guess what? You're not going to play, or that person is going to go to management and the coaching staff and say, this isn't working, and they'll listen, based on the talent level, and the consistency, and obviously when you don't have a good leadoff hitter, and if he's been hurt like Brandon Donovan, as well as JP Crawford, it's hard to be a good baseball team when you don't have a good leadoff hitter. When you have a good leadoff hitter, it sets the tone at the very beginning of the game. And again, if you don't have a good one, or you keep switching, that spot, it's hard to gain the chemistry and the momentum. All right, let's go to the top of the 8th inning and see who's up next here for the Rays. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI, and a K with a solo dinger, first baseman Jonathan Aranda. Batting second in the 3-hole, superstar third baseman Junior Caminero. And batting third in the 4-hole, catcher Liam Hicks. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. But again, I blame Dan Wilson by putting, Taylor Ward as a leadoff hitter just because he got walked a lot, for the Angels and for Baltimore. It doesn't mean that he's going to be doing the same thing as JP Crawford. He's a new guy to the team. You never bring a new guy into the team and have him lead off unless he's got a skill set more like a Brandon Donovan rather than someone like a Taylor Ward. And even Donnie is still having a slow start getting back into the rhythm hitting-wise. I trust him at third defensively. But again, Cole Young, Randy Arozarena, or Julio Rodriguez, should be the only guys leading off. And then if it's not those three, JP or Donnie, when they're available, could obviously do it as well. But Donnie's not ready to take that, job yet. And Cole was doing a good job at leadoff. So, again, it's one of those things. Like, do you know how to manage a baseball club or not? And apparently, Dan is like Scott Service. They're fucking clueless. Next up is Jonathan Aranda, and Jose Ferrer makes himself into the game. First pitch is a sinker right down the middle, 97 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And honestly, I would love for DePoto and Wilson to get fired, but when is it going to happen? And Randy trying to dive for a ball once in his life, and guess what? He misses it. And that ends up being a single there for Aranda. Hell, Ichiro, even at 50, 60 years old, could get more hits than most of the guys that are on the team now. But again, that's based on his greatness and, him still taking batting practice even at an old age, and again, how many guys still wear the full uniform after they've retired? He's a true one of one, and honestly, they should just fire Dan Wilson and make Ichiro manager. That's what they should do, but they won't. And Ichiro probably wouldn't even take the job if they offered it to him, but, the vibes would be a lot better. Bring Ken Griffey Jr., to the team to help out with hitting. Randy Johnson to help out with the pitching. Big swing and a miss there by Junior Caminero. No balls and 2 strikes from Pereira to Caminero. 0-2 pitch from Ferrer, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at first and no outs. Top of the 8, 2-0 Rays. Little slow dribbler up the middle. Double play. Cole Clutch Young, baby. At least someone can fucking play for this team. The only bright spot all year out of anybody on the roster, Cole Clutch Young. He can play defense. He can play offense. It's just, kind of a shame we don't have 5 Cole Youngs. Then we would be just fine. Next up is Liam Hicks. And first pitch hit by Jose Ferrer, and Hicks goes to first. All right, top of the 8th inning, runner at first with 2 outs. Jose Ferrer on the mound. At least Bizardo didn't give up a home run when he was up in the previous inning. But Ferrer has been not really, trustworthy as of late. But hopefully we'll be able to get out of this inning with only being down 2 and got to score a run at some point. First pitch takes a strike looking high and inside, 0-1 count. And Simpson pops up into right. Taylor Ward is there, and that is out number 3. All right, here we go. We only got 2 innings left to try to win this game 3-2 or to tie it up 2-2 and win 3-2 in extras. But we got to score 1 or 2 runs this inning, 1 or 2 runs in the 9th. Otherwise we're going to end up losing 2-0 or worse. And hopefully we'll be able to find a way here. Next up for the Mariners, 0-2 with a K, third baseman Brendan Donovan. Come on, Donnie. Batting second, 0-1 with a base on ball, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And batting third, 0-2 with 2 Ks, shortstop Colt Emerson. And the team is not doing that well when you're going into the 8th inning and they've only had 2 at-bats. Hard to win a game when you only have had 2 at-bats and you're in the 8th, and that's when things have been obviously not going your way. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. We're at 30 on the dono train, 70 to go. $80 subs to go to 24,600. Hopefully we can get to 150 likes or more before this one is over. We got 193 in the room. And we're at 142. Can we get 8 more people to hit the like button to get to 150? That'd be greatly appreciated. Shout out to Velasco. Shout out to JT. Shout out to Sean. And we just got to have this blind faith and hope that we get a home run or back-to-back hits or someone gets hit by a pitch and not hurt, or we get some walks and we can find a way to just manufacture something. I mean, really, we only had one chance that seemed promising, the bases loaded, where we didn't get anything. But, again, a lot of the hitters were impatient. And now we have a new pitcher, finally, Clevenger in the game, a lefty. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. And remember, you can be down 2-3-4, 5-0 and have a bullpen guy come in and have a meltdown, and all of a sudden you can come back and win. But with only 2 innings left, it's a lot of pressure. But again, if Clevenger has a meltdown, we definitely can come back. 1-0 pitch, low and away. Good start here. Can't hit the strike zone. 2 balls and no strikes to Brendan Donovan. Come on, Donnie. Donnie in the box. On deck is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And a little slow dribbler towards third and foul. Come on, Donnie. I still believe. 2-1 pitch. Got him. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And again, sometimes that's all you need is someone to be a little wild, pitching low and away, and then Donnie getting hit by a pitch. Got the jersey. And now we got Cal Raleigh, and sometimes all it takes is one guy to get hit, one guy to get walked. Boom, next guy hits a home run, and tie game. After getting blasted for 7 innings, 2-0, then it can be 2-2, and that's why baseball's so crazy. It's like you can just get beat up over and over and over, for a majority of the game, and all it takes is 1 or 2 batters to have, some magic, and then all of a sudden, the other team, potentially could end up losing. So let's see if we can get something going here with the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. My pup is in here to see the action. And hopefully Paisley will be the good luck charm here. We got Donnie at first. Hit on the jersey, barely, but it was. We had one obviously on the opposite end as well. They're challenging, though. And it looked like it grazed the jersey, but let's see if that's enough, for them to, overturn this or not. I mean, much better than him getting a hit in the stomach like Cal did, obviously, by De Jesus and the Tigers. So we don't want that. Call confirmed, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Got to have that blind faith. No matter how bad things get, I'm always going to be that positive, backbone, to this team and this fan base, no matter what happens. It's super easy to be negative based on how things have gone this season, and we just got to stay afloat. The American League stinks overall. The AL West is the worst division in baseball, and if we're going to suck, let's just hope that the Astros and Rangers suck too, and it can be a big suck fest, and then maybe the Mariners can suck a little less in September, and then we can find a way to, get into the playoffs barely, That's just the approach that you have to have. Let's go, Cal. Clevenger on the mound, big dumper in the box. I mean, it's truth though, right? I mean, it's not like the Rangers or Astros are 20 games above 500. I mean, everyone in the AL West stinks. You got the White Sox, typically in the Guardians, battling, in the Central, and then we know that the Rays and Yankees are the 2 best teams in the American League. So it's not like there's, the same type of thing going on in the National League and the American. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away with the slider. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first. Donnie, who got hit on the jersey barely, but we'll take it. And we got a runner at first with no outs. Let's see if we can get Donnie to second, but I don't want him to try to steal a bag and get thrown out. We don't want that Uncle Mo momentum to go away. Almost hitting Cal on the foot. Low and at the knees. Good take there by Cal. And if we can be patient, we can come back and win this game. But if we're going to be, overly aggressive, we're going to lose. We just got to let the game come to us. 2-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss there by Cal. Slider 87 miles an hour, low and at the knees. 2 balls, 2 strikes from Clevenger to big dumper Cal Raleigh. Got to believe. You got to have that blind faith, no matter how bad things are. And again, if we're not down by more than 5 runs, there's a chance. Anything above 5 runs, yeah, the game probably is over. But if it's under 5 runs, anything can happen. 2-2 pitch to Cal. Little dribbler in front of the pitcher and catcher. Out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Come on, baby. Two-two pitch, pop behind the plate and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Clevenger to big dumper Cal Raleigh. We don't need that negativity, Jerry. Got to be positive. 2-2 pitch. Cal pops it up. Should be a routine play here for the infield. And that is 1 away. Richie Palacios making the out. You can always tell Richie because he's got the goggles. All right, next up is Colt Emerson. And Emerson has hit a few home runs, as of late. And we could really use a 2-run jack by Colt. And if Colt hits a home run right here to make it 2-2, it might give us the momentum to win the game. Let's go, Colt. And then on deck is Taylor Ward. But if Dan Wilson was smart, that would have been Cole Young. Yeah, no spam in the chat, my guy. And you know what spam in the chat will get you? That. First pitch takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. And Emerson, let's go! Cole with a big hit, let's go! Runners at first and second, let's go! And if Cole Young was leading off, this would be Cole Young. And who's better than Cole Young in the 7th, 8th, and 9th? Nobody. And that's why, Dan Wilson is kind of dumb. It's like, why do you have Taylor Ward there? Now, Taylor could get a walk. He could get a hit, but who would we rather have in this situation? With runners at first and second and 1 out, Taylor Ward just coming to the team with a low batting average, who does get a lot of walks, or Cole Young? Hello? But again, hopefully we can get to Cole, which we will. As long as we don't get a double play here. And then if we get to Cole Young, the game could end up being 2-2 or 3-2. Let's go. We got runners at first and second now. That's, obviously a lot of Mariner fans probably turned the game off, thinking that we're just going to lose 2-0, which possibly could still happen, but we want to be positive, and hope that we get some singles. Hope that, after Rasmussen left, that we can rough up, the next guy. And we did. But now it's about, being able to bring these guys home or potentially hitting a home run. And we know Taylor Ward isn't really a home run hitter. So we're going to have another pitching change, I assume, here with Kelly coming in. And we just got to hope that we can get to Cole Young and Randy Arosarena. And if we're able to get to Cole and Randy, we might win this game. Kevin Kelly coming in. First pitch from Kelly in there to Taylor Ward. 0-1 count. Sidearm approach there. Big swing and a miss there by Taylor Ward. No balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. And again, I better see Cole Young as a leadoff hitter tomorrow. This Taylor Ward leadoff hitter experiment is not ideal. 0-2 pitch, high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Kelly to Ward. And at this point, we just got to pray that he can get something. But, again, Dan Wilson, not the brightest light bulb out of the bunch. Should have been Cole Young leading off, not fucking Taylor Ward. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Taylor. And again, how many times do you have to have situations like that before Dan realizes that he messed up? But at least that wasn't out number 3. And now we have a chance for our best clutch hitter in the 7th inning and beyond. You know, with nobody on, usually batting over 300 typically, but with runners in scoring position with 2 outs, even just a few weeks back, he was batting over 400. So let's see if Cole Clutch Young can be a hero here. First pitch is low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Come on, Cole. On deck is Randy Arozarena. Come on, Cole. Randy on deck. Come on, Clutch Young. Let's get it, baby. 1-0 pitch popped up and out of play. Obviously, if he hits a 3-run bomb right here, then, you know, that would be the best case scenario. But even just getting a run, you know, or 2 with a double, you know, would be huge. One pitch. Hard hit ball. Oh, toe tap on the bag. And that is out number 3. Brutal. Shows you how tough it is to be able to get, you know, 3 hits in a row or 3 batters in a row. All right, one last chance as long as we can keep it 2-0 in the bottom of the 9th. But who would we have up? We'd have Randy, Dom, and Julio. So I guess we still would have a chance based off the lineup. That would be better than, you know, Naylor, Donnie, and Cal. So again, we'll see what happens in the bottom of the 9th, but a missed opportunity there. And obviously when you're going against the number 1 team, you know, in the American League, sometimes things are going to go your way and sometimes they're not. I was really hoping that Cole would get a single or double there, if not a home run, and, you know, give us that magic, but unfortunately wasn't able to come up with runners at first and second. All right, let's go to the top of the 9th and see who's up next year for the Rays. Dominguez. Oh, God. Sir Anthony Dominguez is coming in. Yikes. He gave up like 4 runs last time he came into a game. I don't know if this is the guy that you want coming in when we're only down 2. I mean, in a matter of like a couple minutes, it could be we're down by 6. But we'll see. Hopefully he does well. Next up, 1 for 3 with a run, RBI and 2 Ks, Johnny DeLuca. Batting second in the 7-hole, right fielder Victor Mesa Jr. And batting third in the 8-hole, second baseman Richie Palacios. We just need a better manager. Dan Wilson is not it. I'm happy that we're not down 5-6-0, but we will see. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. And hopefully Sir Anthony Dominguez doesn't shit the bed like he did in his first opportunity where he gave up 4 runs in the 9th a few days back. So this is his second opportunity to show, you know, after the Luis Castillo trade, can we rely on you to actually get a couple outs, or are you going to be a liability instead of an asset? Hopefully an asset. Right hands up. Let's go, Ems. First pitch, high and inside, almost hitting DeLuca towards the shoulder and head area. 1-0 count. Come on, Sir Anthony. One 0 pitch. There we go. That's a nice pitch right down the middle. Four-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour. He had a really hard time even painting the corners in his first opportunity for the Mariners, giving up 4 runs in the 9th a few days ago. But now seems much better. There we go. Another good sweeper after the 4-seam. I like it. This version of Sir Anthony I like. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Sir Anthony Dominguez to Johnny DeLuca. Let's get a punch out, baby. Got him. Let's go. All right. That's what I'm talking about. That's much better than giving up 4 runs and hit after hit, walk after walk, RBI after RBI. There we go. That's the Sir Anthony Dominguez that we were hoping for. You know, someone that, you know, that could come in instead of, you know, Bizardo or Ferrer or Spire, you know, and obviously we have Rucker. Davila ended up, you know, coming back to the team today, obviously since Cole got hurt. And a little blooper. And diving attempt there by Cole Young, but couldn't get to it. At least somebody's fucking trying on this team. And running back to first and safe. Oh, that was Emerson went for the dive. I thought that was Young. Emerson flying here, laying out. Young was next to him. I like the effort, and that's what you want to see out of, our young guns. We just don't want them to collide into each other. And again, if Colt can just figure out, in his sophomore season like Cole did, how to be more patient in the box and let the game come to him, then we're going to have 3 really good players, offense and defense: Cole Young, Julio, and Colt Emerson. He's already got the defense down. It's just about getting the offense like Cole Young's. First pitch fouled off there by Richie Palacios. 0-1 count. Jerry, you're all over it. Double play would be fantastic. I mean, we haven't been getting very many, and obviously we've been hitting into way too many. Yesterday we had 4 or 5 that we hit into. Unacceptable. 0-1 pitch. Low and at the knees, sweeper. 1 ball and 1 strike from Dominguez to Palacios. I mean, I wouldn't mind back-to-back punch-outs. To have 3 punch-outs for Sir Anthony as well. Anything just to gain his confidence after giving up 4 runs in his first start for the Mariners. I know he didn't feel good after that. And us fans, we didn't like it either. Throw to first to Naylor, and that he is safe. I mean, nothing is worse when you join your new team and you shit the bed in your first, start on your new team, or your first opportunity to, show the fans, hey, I want to help this team win, and then you give up 4 runs. Runner goes, and safe. No throw. Victor Mesa Jr. with a stolen bag. And hopefully we can keep it 2-0. I mean, there's no guarantee that we're going to get 2 runs, but if we can keep it 2-0, we'll have a better chance than if it's 3-0. I'll tell you that. If it ends up being 3-0, the chance of us coming back is pretty slim, unless there's the epic meltdown in the bottom of the 9th. But 2 balls and 1 strike, and 2 balls and 1 strike, 2 balls and 1 strike, and 2-1 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 pitch. And a ball inside. Come on, Sir Anthony, you're going back to your old ways. And now we got runners at first and second with 1 out. I mean, he did have an ERA of 4, and obviously, Castillo's, contract is really the main reason, trying to get obviously someone that's getting paid, a little bit too much based on his win-loss record and ERA. But I mean, hell, if this is, obviously if he wasn't getting paid as much, I would rather have Castillo just go to the pen, but obviously if you're getting over 20 million a year and, you're only a couple wins and a bunch of losses and an ERA above 5, then yeah, they got to try to move you. But Sir Anthony, you got to be better, my guy. First pitch, take a big swing and a miss, high and away to Taylor Walls, 0-1 count. Come on, Dominguez. Can't shit the bed the first 2 opportunities you have with the new team. Big swing and a miss, high and away. There we go. Back-to-back 4-seam fastballs by Sir Anthony Dominguez. Can we get one more? Or a double play? Slow dribbler up the middle for a double play to give us a slim, chance to be able to try to come back and win this game 3-2. 0-2 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball missing. 97 miles an hour there by Sir Anthony Dominguez. 1 ball, 2 strikes, runners at first and second, and 1 out. Top of the 9th inning, 2-0 Rays. One-two pitch. Got him. 2 away. All right, next up, 0 for 4, Yandy Diaz. Let's go. 1 more out. First pitch is high and away, 4-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour, just missing the corner, 1-0 count. Top of the 9th inning, runners at first and second with 2 outs. Rays up 2-0. But it's not like they have 15 hits today. They only have 6, but 2 of them are solo dingers. And flies out to right. Taylor Ward is there, back to the wall. Got it, baby. And that's out number 3. All right, here we go. I mean, we might have less than a 10% chance to score 2 runs and a 1% chance to get 3 here in the bottom of the 9th. But again, as long as the game is still going on, if you can get a meltdown, anything can happen. And hopefully we can find a way to win this game 3-2 in regulation or tie it up 2-2 and then win in 10, 11, or 12, 3-2. All right, let's see if we have the right batters up. Like I mentioned, I thought we did. Let's see who it is. Next up for the Mariners in the 3-hole, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second, 0 for 3 with a K, DHing Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 1 for 3 with 2 Ks, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Somehow, some way, Randy gets a single, Dom gets walked, Julio hits a 3-run jack, boom, we win. Got to try to talk it into existence somehow, some way. Right ends up. Let's go, M's. We're at 30 on the dono train, 70 to go. Baker coming in for Kelly. Game 3 subs since the commercial break. Thank you so much. 77 subs do 24,600. And I'm hoping that we're over 150 likes, somewhere between 150 and 170. If we can get there. We got 233 in the room, so if we can get somewhere between 150 and 200, that would be great. And we're at 157, so if we can get as close to 200 before the game ends, that would be awesome. $43 more to get to 200. Let's go. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, Mariner Moose. We need your help more than ever. Sports gods, make it happen. Randy with a single or a walk. Dom with a single or a walk. And then Julio Rodriguez coming up big to be the hero. Let's go. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. Got to have that blind faith. All right. Brian Baker. First pitch from Baker to Randy. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. And, Baker's phenomenal. So, again, this is not going to be easy. Come on, Randy. 0-1 pitch, low and away. Changeup missing. 87 miles an hour, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the ninth, 2-0 Rays. We just need a little bit of a meltdown. A walk here, hit by pitch here, a single here, and then somebody coming up with the big home run or the big RBI. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Baker is number 1 in MLB with saves with 32. So again, he's, not the guy you really want to be facing. But again, you never know. Every once in a while, an elite player can have a little bit of a mini meltdown or a full meltdown. But it's going to be hard. There's no doubt about it. Because usually when he's on the mound, it's game over. And that is strike 3. Down goes Randy. We don't have our challenges to challenge at this point. We lost him a few innings back. That is 1 away. Down goes Randy. Now we have to hope that Dom can get on with a single, double, a walk, or a home run. And then Julio can come up with something as well. Come on, Dom. First pitch is low and away, 1-0 count. Come on, Dom. See if the Italian stallion can come up with something big. Next home run he hits is number 19. Only 2 away from 20. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking high and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Baker to Canzone. And again, we have not been a very patient hitting team lately with not having JP in the lineup, and it shows. Little dribbler towards first. And out of play. Nice change up there by Baker. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the 9th inning, 2-0 Tampa. One-two pitch. Big swing and a miss. Down goes Dom. And we're down to our last out. Come on, Julio. On deck is Josh Naylor, but we need a miracle now. But again, Baker is that good. Julio in the box. Naylor on deck. I mean, we've already been shut out like 11 times this year. We don't need to make it 12. Come on. First pitch to Julio is low and away with a changeup. 84 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Come on, J-Rod. 9-16 in the last 25. Brutal. And with the schedule that we have in August, man. 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike from Baker to Julio. Come on, Julio. 1-1 pitch. Julio! Deep hit ball! Back! Gone! Let's go! Now, if Randy or Dom could have got on, then we could have tied this game, or potentially won it. But I had a feeling that Julio might do some magic, and Julio hits the home run, but now we still need more. All right, now it's up to Josh Naylor. Let's go. Good job, Julio. I mean, that's one piece, but again, that's so important that Randy or Dom would have got on, and then we could have ended up winning 3-2 with a walk-off or tying it up 2-2. But again, Julio Rodriguez showing, why he's the best player on the team. We can't win without him. And again, when he even DHs, we have a chance. But when he's completely out of the lineup, we can't win a game. And he is very valuable. Offense, defense, just like Cole Young. And now we need Josh Naylor. Come on. 0-1 pitch. Popped up and out of play. No balls and 2 strikes from Baker to Naylor. And it's not like Baker gives up home runs. So you got to be a pretty special player, to hit a home run in that kind of situation. But, I just wish Randy or Dom would have been able to find a way to get on. Then we could have had this game tied or won. That's why Cole Young, batting next to Julio is more preferred. You want to have those guys next to each other. 0-2 pitch. And that is strike 3 looking and game over. Brutal. Julio doing everything that he can, but it's just not enough. Final score, Rays 2, Mariners 1. And hopefully tomorrow's game will be better. I didn't think that we were going to get shut out, but again, just couldn't find another hitting partner to join Julio Rodriguez. And again, it was a pitcher's duel, but we were very impatient, and it shows you how important J.P. Crawford is to this team. And I better not see Taylor Ward leading off ever again. But knowing Dan Wilson, he'll probably have Taylor Ward leading off for the rest of the year. Somebody fire that man. All right, let's go over the stats for both teams. All right, Yandy Diaz, 0 for 5. Jonathan Aranda, 2 for 4 with a home run and an RBI. Junior Caminero, 0 for 2. Liam Hicks, 1 for 3. Chandler Simpson, 0 for 4. Johnny DeLuca, 1 for 4 with a home run. Victor Mesa Jr., 2 for 4 with a good game. Richie Palacios, 0 for 1. And Taylor Walls, 0 for 3. And then let's go to the flip side here. And again, if I don't see someone leading off different than Taylor Ward, I'm going to lose my mind tomorrow. Taylor Ward, 0 for 4 leading off. Not good. Cole Young, 1 for 4. Randy Arozarena, 0 for 4. Dominic Canzone, 0 for 4. Not good. Julio Rodriguez, you're a stud. 2 for 4 with a home run. We love you. Josh Naylor, 0 for 3. Come on. Brendan Donovan, 0 for 2. Unacceptable. Cal Raleigh, 0 for 2. Unacceptable. And Colt Emerson, 1 for 3. It's kind of hard to win games when you only have a third of the lineup producing. And that's Cole Young, Colt Emerson, and obviously Julio Rodriguez. And those are the guys that coincidentally that can play offense and defense. So again, I know we're going to play better tomorrow. And again, just sad that we couldn't get anybody to help Julio out. Final score, Rays 2, Mariners 1. And I got one question for you. Who talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Tridents up and go Mariners.